Thanks for watching Crokinole Center. We're down to the semifinal stages at the Crokinole World Cup in Budapest. And it's a battle of the compatriots in these semifinals, and I guess the battle of the doubles partnerships as well, as Jeremy Tracey takes on Brian Cook. And you can see in the background, Attila and Christian Berzlanovic are playing in the other semifinal. Semifinals are first to 9 points. Brian Cook missing on that bounce back 20 attempt. We only have coverage of this semifinal, but could share that the Severia Crokinole website or Crokinole YouTube channel will have the footage from the other semifinal. So we'll be sure to leave a link to the description for that channel to find that. Jeremy Tracey really put a lot of pressure on that open 20. This disc just barely stays on the board. Cook gets the rebound. Great shot, Brian Cook. Two-peg rebound there. Ties up this opening round. And Tracey definitely hit his last open 20 with way too much weight, so had to try to recalibrate on that shot and left it short. Fighting from behind now, almost makes the follow-through 20. See how Cook tries to hit. Definitely going for a hit and roll. That is a great shot. That is just Brian Cook at his finest, getting that takeout and roll. Open board, final shot, knocks down the 20, and Brian Cook leads this semifinal by a score of 2-0. Just seemed like vintage Brian Cook with that hit and roll on a second last shot. He was definitely good in all facets of his game when he was sort of dominating the Canadian stage of Crokinole about 10 years ago, but that shot definitely seemed to be the one thing that was by far ahead of the competition on. Just a fantastic defensive player, or fantastic at defending the lead and sort of stifling his opponents who were looking for offense. But it will be him again looking for offense here, going for a rebound, getting some good action on it. Tracey analyzing the options on which line to take the shot. He's expecting a Brian Cook follow through here. Oh. Yes, great shot, Brian Cook. Beauty there. Open board, Jeremy Tracey. Leaves it short. So now Tracey possibly going for a hide here. Oh, a bit of an assist play there. It's a pretty nice hide, but I think Cook will have an opportunity to go through his own to try to make the takeout. Be interesting to see if he tries to peel off the disc that he sent into the red. Oh, nicely done with the 20 there. That's a great shot. I was not expecting that. I thought he'd just be satisfied with getting a takeout or a touch on that red disc. But scoring the 20 there is crucial. Cook gets the hit and stick. Very long ricochet here for Jeremy Tracey to try to go for. Applying the potato starch to the bottom of the disc, trying to get some extra speed here. Got a little bit of movement on it. See if Cook will leave him any angle on his final shot for a ricochet. No, he just rolls just enough over. No ricochet 20 here for Tracey. All he has is a follow through or perhaps a pretty crazy ricochet off a peg. See what he goes for. Oh, I try to get a bounce off a peg, a favorable bounce. Does not fall. And Brian Cook now goes ahead 4-0 here. Tracey starts out round number 3 with a 20. think Tracey's made all of his open 20s in the first 3 rounds. Makes his second one in this 3rd round as well. Cook does not find the right line there. Almost lost the shooter right off the board. Thankfully, it hit a peg to stay on. Cook peels. Tracey trying to extend the lead with that open 20. It bounces out. Chance for a takeout 20 for Cook. Yeah, he gets it. Tying up that 20 count now. Good response from Tracey. Finding that range for the open 20 again. This time it's Brian Cook's turn to get the bounce out. And it's Tracey's turn to get the takeout 20. Cook misses on that open 20, so Tracey's in a pretty good spot now. Cook's got to make a takeout 20 here to stay in this round. Going for that crazy bounce off of peg. Tracey doesn't get the takeout, but he won't need it. He'll get on the board here. Cook trying to add a few 5s onto his tally there to try to tie this round. But Jeremy Tracey, the better player in that round. Now trailing by a score of 4-2, but he'll have the hammer coming up in this next round to try to tie the match. One thing about the potato starch just sometimes leaves a little bit of residue on the board, which you can see Cook trying to clean off a little bit with the back of his hand. Sometimes if you get a little bit of the potato starch, really helps the discs fly pretty well. They definitely slide very smoothly, but just a little bit too much and they can act sort of sticky in certain spots of the board, so players tend to be a little bit wary of that. See Tracey just applying just a little bit to the bottom of the disc there. Trying to get that extra speed on it, and he actually just needed a little bit more speed to get that rebound off a peg and into the hole. See Cook going for another takeout and roll here. Nothing, not an all-time Brian Cook amazing shot, but still to a great spot. Placement from Cook, leaving this one sort of in front of the pegs, making the rebound off a peg a little bit harder for Tracey. He'll have a chance to do it again here on this shot. Nicely done. See that Tracey will try to put a little bit more pressure on this one, just to get a little bit more force on his own disc. Try to get just a little bit more of a rebound and bring us just a bit closer to the 20 hole. That's too much on it there, losing the shooter off the board. Cook extends the lead with that open 20. Tracey staying in it with that one. Still needs a miss from Cook. Perhaps that's good enough. Perhaps there'll be a takeout 20 here for Jeremy Tracey. I think the one thing about these Hungarian boards is it seems anyway you can make takeout 20s when the discs are just a little bit further back from the 20 hole. Saw that a few times in the doubles final that it seemed like the disc could be a little bit too far back, but players were able to get it to go on these boards. So see if Tracey can pull it off here. Does not get it. I think that one still, even with accounting for that sort of extra margin that you can have on these boards, that one was probably still too far away. And Brian Cook now leads 6-2. So Jeremy Tracey starting off round number 5. Misses on that first 20. Cook changing the angle for this takeout. Now changing it again. I guess you could see why he was having some indecision on it, because he didn't like the look from either side. Tracey unable to get the touch 20.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think he
will. And Tracey going for the ricochet there, but he lost it. Instead has left a hanger 20. Cook was looking at possibly just taking just shooting off his own to not leave that hanger 20, but I think he'll try to get a touch on this red and then take away the hanger. You can see there, he was trying to push his blue disc to the outside, put too much on it and lost it off the board, but I still think that's better than the opposite, which was leaving that hanger 20 that's sitting there for Jeremy Tracey. Tracey peels there, but wanted the double peel, wanted to get that other blue disc. Cook makes a mistake there, loses the shooter, and now Tracey likely to peel this one. And now there's more pressure on Cook here. He sort of had a free miss having that extra disc on the board, but this one he's got to make. He gets it, keeps the disc on the board. Tracey going for the hide, gets a nice little roll in there behind the pegs. Cook looking at taking it out through Hogan's Alley, but not changing it. Going on the other way, but he loses the shooter. Open board here. That's what Jeremy Tracey was looking for. Does not get the open 20 to fall, though. Brian Cook makes the 20. Delicately takes his disc out of the 20 hole, and Jeremy Tracey final shots here to try to score a 20 and then leave his one disc in the 15 in a spot that Brian Cook might miss it, which I think is probably pretty unlikely. Does get the raised 20, but Cook open board, well, sort of a wide open hit and stick, which he gets, and Brian Cook leads this match 8-2. He is 1 point away from winning this semifinal and advancing to the championship. So just saw in the background, it looked like Attila Brislanovic won his semifinal, so he'll be moving on to play the winner of this match. Brian Cook can get 1 more point. That will be him taking that spot in the finals. Brian Cook loses a shooter through the house there. Start off round number 6. Tracey with the lead now. Up at 20, now up to 20 as he gets that one to go. That one does not fall for Cook. Thought it might. Pretty heavy hanger, which you don't get too many of the heavy hangers on these boards. Double takeout for Tracey, but he's left a hanger 20 chance for Cook, which he makes. Limiting that deficit to 120, but Tracey pushes it right back to 2. Tracey responding with the open 20s when he needs it in this round. And Tracey with that one will secure these 2 points. He'll stay alive in this match. Good string of open 20s there to end that round. Tracey now trailing by a score of 8-4, winning those 2 points with his hammer. And Brian Cook still looking for that one extra point. He'll have his hammer coming up in this next round.
If I need them, I'll get them. I feel it would improve the likelihood.
Tracey in a hole to start off round number 7 here, missing his first 20. Cook, though, leaves that shot right next to the 20 hole. Chance for Tracey. Gets it. That's a big shot for him, putting the pressure on Cook. And Cook loses the shooter through the house. Second time we've seen that in this match. Tracey leaves it short. It's interesting. The players had a real good string of open 20s there to end that last round. And then we see back-to-back shots there where both players sort of way off in the weight that they need. So just when it seems like both players getting, pretty comfortable with the board, we see a couple of misses.
It's interesting.
Nice takeout from Tracey. Navigated his own there to leave 3 discs on the board. Oh, and Cook almost made the 20 there. Instead, now it's 4 red discs on the board. Oh, and he just missed on that ricochet 20 attempt. Tracey going for a 2-20 lead. He gets it there. And now a good string of momentum going here for Jeremy Tracey, because it's going to be back-to-back rounds that he's won here with his back against the wall. And the score is now 8-6. Perhaps the pressure building here for Brian Cook. He still just needs 1 point to move on to the finals here, but does not have the hammer coming from this next round.
Yes, sir.
Seems like the momentum's swinging a little bit here to Jeremy Tracey. Needs another round to complete the comeback and tie up this semifinal. Brian Cook starts out with an open 20. Tracey responds.
Nice.
Cook again. Tracey resetting. Oh, he misses long. Cook now in his wheelhouse. Leaves that one in between the pegs. There is a chance for a rebound 20 here for Tracey. Almost gets it, just a bit short. Oh, and Brian Cook, I really thought he was going to go for a rollout there because that just seems like his bread and butter. But instead, he makes the follow-through 20, and now he's got a 220 edge. Tracey misses on the open 20. So lead extended for Brian Cook. Good placement from Cook there. Very low percentage chance here for Tracey. Coming down to the final shots. Cook could put this one out of reach if he can make a 20 here. Oh, he gets it. That's a great shot from Brian Cook. Switching to the offense late in this semifinal and pulling away because Brian Cook, if he can make a takeout here, will put this one out of reach. And Brian Cook is going to win this semifinal against Jeremy Tracey to advance to the finals here of this World Cup of Crokinole.
Playing against Brian Cook, right? 4-time World Cup, 4-time Princeton graduate.
Final shot. Brian Cook makes the takeout and rollout. Jeremy Tracey caps off the match. Brian Cook will advance to the finals to play Attila Berzlanovic for the World Cup title.